Hello, cosmic beings. Welcome to Being Cosmick. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I am so glad that each and every one of you are here. My name is Devon, and I will be doing a collective message today. So, with that, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. So, we're doing another one. Um, so this is another divine masculine message. I was pushing back on it a little bit and having conversations with the universe about opening it up a little more because it's been very divine masculine focused lately, these messages. But I listened and went into full surrender and was actually shown a little bit of what's going on and why I'm being guided to read so much for the Divine Masculine Collective. So with that, um here we are. um okay, first and foremost, I want to give you major props. So the divine masculine awakening on the planet is really taking off. And if you're here and you're watching this and you are experiencing the divine counterpart journey, which I'll make it abundantly clear that this is what that message is for, just give yourself a pat on the back because it is not an easy journey to walk. It's not an easy path to walk. And I don't really like comparing, but I would say that I'll put it this way, the divine masculine has unique struggles on this path. And a lot of it, the feminine will experience as well, but certain things aren't quite as challenging just because of the programming that we experience in the society and, what makes a man and all of that. So, give yourself a pat on the back for transcending logic, for allowing yourself to break through some of these mental prisons that you've been stuck in and for opening yourself up to more of that authentic self, that soul self, because a lot of this journey is in direct um oh, I can't think of the word. Oh my gosh, the word just went. Opposition, maybe? Yeah, it's in direct opposition of a lot of the material out there on what makes a man and all of this stuff. It's very much conditioned that men are not supposed to be emotional and they're supposed to be stoic all the time and so on and so forth. And while yes, being stoic or this or that is, I resonate with that personality style. So I understand it. Um it's just one of those things that yes, there's a time and a place for it, but shutting off your emotions is not the answer. And ignoring certain inner callings is not the answer. And at this point, I feel like you're really kind of sort of figuring that out and releasing some of these blocks and limitations and redefining what a healthy masculine energy is. And that is so necessary on the planet right now because we've got wounded masculine and wounded feminine running things. And so just give yourself a pat on the back. And just know that I'm proud of you and I see you. So okay. I got some downloads more or less, some insight of what's going on with you and your person, which is really it was really interesting. I was actually planning out some videos for my other channel that will be up by next week. And so I will make that announcement within the next few days. Anyways, so I was doing that, and then I was as I was planning some of these videos, because I just do like little outlines and then um, record. I was getting hit with insights at the same time. So I'm like planning these videos, and some of it's like how to determine what's your intuition and what isn't, and how to transcend the ego, things like that. So I'm focusing on that, and then I'm getting like these random insights of what's coming up for the divine masculine right now. So it was really fun. This is back and forth that we were doing. Okay. So first and foremost, there is a very sensual energy between you and your person right now. I feel like there is very much one, I do, if you're resonating with this message, You have a telepathic connection with your person. A little side note on that, not everything is transmitted telepathically, just to be clear. So don't fear that. Just know that, if you're thinking about your person in a sensual way, they might be receiving that energy. They might not be able to like know what you're thinking and stuff like that, but they're going to get that wave of sensual energy. And then likewise, if your person is thinking about you in those ways, it's a very strong connection. So that energy is very much transmitted back and forth very intensely. Um, so there's definitely that going on. Um, and then I heard you've energetically claimed each other. So it's this energy of like if you were to attempt to be with another person right now, or if you are in a relationship with another person right now, they might be picking up on your person's energy. And it's almost it's like they can smell it on you. And they might not know exactly what it is or what's going on, but it's like they can smell your feminine's energy in your energy. And then the same thing with your feminine. So it's a real fun dynamic. Anyways, um, then there was a piece of advice that came through, and that was to be your authentic self. And this is solid sound advice just in general, but especially because I don't feel like you're in contact with your feminine. So when you go towards your feminine, do your best to be in your authentic energy. Um, and what was kind of coming up is so this is what I heard. That's my fish. Don't touch my fish. So if that's kind of your energy with your feminine and that is what feels natural to you, not in a controlling way, not in a possessive way, but in like a healthy, I don't like a healthy possessive way. That sounds like an oxymoron, but hopefully you know what I'm saying. It's one of those like that one's mine. If that's how you're feeling right now, this is definitely your message. Um and it is mutual, which is where that energetically claimed like download kind of came from as well. You definitely have unfinished business with your person. So that's part of why these messages are coming through so heavily right now. Again, there's the union window open. You are in alignment to go towards your person. Um, you are both also each other's I wrote down mutual muse. So both of you inspire the other to be their best version. And that right there, you can't buy that. Like that's you can't put a price on that. That is such a gift to have somebody that inspires you into your authenticity, which is also your best version of self. And then you do that for this person as well. And then I also have the masculine is locked onto the feminine energetically. Um, and it's one of those like the feminine's locked on too, but it's different. It's a different dynamic. It's a different energetic dynamic. But what this is actually doing is it's energetically affecting your feminine. So if you have ways to see your feminine, don't be surprised if you start to see them rise or go through a glow up or just energetically shift into like an even more awesome version of themselves, and know that part of that is your energy around your feminine because it's a containment thing that's happening energetically, and so that's allowing your feminine to rise in an even more like powerful way right now. And then there's also the feminine that is returning that energy but in a loving way. And I mean your energy is loving. It's just it's a different dynamic. So it's like you're like locked onto the feminine. That's my fish. Don't touch my fish. And then the feminine is like, yes. Yes, that is true. Come get me. And I'm going to be here glowing and radiating this feminine energy that has this effect on you as well, that is giving you the ability to rise into your authentic self. And then the energy that you're giving your feminine is allowing your feminine to rise into their more authentic self. It's like this leveling up that's happening for both of you. So this is a dynamic that is completely mutual. It's just it's reciprocal. It's a reciprocal exchange. Okay. Then to get into the cards, so I grabbed this deck, which I haven't used in a while. And when I grabbed it, I like split it. And then I was like, oh, this is part of the message. So we've got the chariot and happily ever after on the bottom. So this is talking about very much forward movement, moving towards your feminine. Energetically, you already are. And so now it's more allowing your physical self to take some of those action steps when you're called to, which I feel for a lot of you, you've been being called to do this. Um, if not, expect it very, very soon. And then it's going towards your happily ever after. This is the world card. So this is a completion energy. So I feel like what this is talking about is the completion of this separation phase, more or less. I'm gonna turn the light on. Oh, there we go. All right, so let's really dive in and see what's going on. What does masculine need to know about the situation? What's going on with the masculine? Okay, that was part of it. We've got the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is a very grounded energy. It's earth energy. It has to do with our physical reality. It's very abundant, it's very grounded, it's very secure. And I feel like this is the energy you're really shifting into, which is a really good energy to be in. I mean, just in general, but this is like having the resources necessary to do what it is that you desire, that kind of thing. And then we've got the Star and the Magician. And I'm hearing you're a star, and so is your feminine. So take that as it resonates. For some of you, maybe one or both of you are in the public eye. If not, it's an energy thing. It's just an energy thing. And then the magician is coming out to let you know that you have all the tools necessary and at your disposal to create to create the reality you desire. And because we are kind of tapping into this counterpart energy, I do feel like your counterpart is a huge part of what it is that you are desiring in this happily ever after energy. I'm picking up a very it's like you leveled up. There's a level up that I'm feeling in the energy. If you don't feel like you've leveled up yet, it's like right around the corner, but you're really in the midst of this huge level up in your life in so many ways. Okay, we've got the Four of Pentacles. Mm, what does that have to do with it? Okay. How is sideways? In the Prince of Cups. Okay. So what I'm picking up, which is interesting, so normally the Four of Pentacles doesn't mean this, but in this case, oh, interesting. Okay, so what I heard was missed opportunity. And then I'm seeing it's like there's this dog on this like trunk. And what I feel like you're doing is it's like you're opening this trunk and you are realizing that it's almost like you shelved something, and I do feel like it was this connection. So it's like you shelved the connection and now you're coming back to it. You're coming back to open up that trunk into with the Prince of Cups over here to express your love. to express those emotions, to express what was unsaid or wasn't clearly said. For a lot of you, I feel like there are a lot of emotions that were not expressed in this connection. Um, yeah, it's just gonna vary. Um, okay. And then the Ace of Swords. This is communication. So you have all the resources necessary. You are in alignment to communicate. Okay. Nothing else is coming out. And then the Ace of Pentacles. This is a blessing from the divine most of the time. So you could have either recently gotten a blessing or you're about to. And I feel like it's actually shifting you into this King of Pentacles energy. So this can be an opportunity, this can be, actual finances, resources, so on and so forth. A promotion, I just heard a promotion or like a raise, something like that might be um relevant for you. And really, I'm really taking that there is, it's, these are two cards that indicate a new beginning. And so I do feel like you have a new beginning here with your person. If that is, well, I was going to say if that's what you're desiring, but I can feel in the energy that is what you're desiring. You're already locked onto your feminine. This is what you want. And now I feel like you're kind of in this energy of waiting to move forward. So let's see what's going on and why we're waiting to move forward. Hold on. I'm going to redo these cards. Give me just a second. Okay, so I paused it to kind of move the cards a little bit so I can pull some more. And then I got a little bit of clarity. So we are going to be talking about the counterpart situation, but this is also more of just a general divine masculine read. So if you're here and you're more of a divine feminine polarity, this could be talking about your masculine aspect. So I just want to say that. For most of you, I do feel like you're resonating more with the masculine polarity, so that's more what you dominantly embody. With this magician card, though, I am picking up that you are really opening up more to that feminine side of you. Um, which is that receptive side. That's, receiving the insight from source, receiving resources and opportunities and things like that. Um, so with that, there is a new beginning here for you. And I do feel like it's a new beginning in business in some way, in your physical life. For some of you, this could be like a home, like moving, something like that. But for a lot of you, I'm picking up, especially because we've got the King of Pentacles out here, I'm picking up that this is going to be in business in some way, business, job, etc. For some of you, you might be being guided to start your own business or to take it to the next level. And then there's also something with communication. So there's an opportunity for a new beginning and it's going to require you to communicate. So maybe this is communicating in business in some way, maybe it's speaking your truth and that's what your business is going to be about. Or this is, this could obviously be communicating with your counterpart. So I'm picking up some different threads of energy. Okay. What else? And then I really started getting pressure around my third eye. So you could be experiencing a third eye awakening, opening, upgrade, activation, etc. Um, and it deals with insight and intuition. Interesting. All right, we've got the 3 of Swords. The 3 of Swords is it's heartbreak. It's a heartbreak energy. It's yeah. So for some of you, I feel like you're healing your heart space right now. Maybe doing some deep inner work and healing some wounds in the heart space. Um, or having to do with love. Maybe you are looking at past relationships and seeing some of the, toxicity where the issues were, and you're going within to kind of look at those parts of yourself and why you attracted certain people and had certain experiences. What was it within you that was attracting this dynamic out of another person? Um, and this can also be just dealing with the heartbreak of being in a physical separation with your counterpart. Which, that's yeah, it has to be expected. And then we've got the 5 of Pentacles. That reverse. Okay. And I'm being told to read this one. So, Pentacles normally, yep. And it's the 5. Okay, so this is talking about displacement, financial woes, and hardship. Um, so this is talking about loss and failure, feeling isolated within a quagmire of instability and financial woes. It may seem as though nothing is going right. Do not let fears of uncertainty consume you. Be prepared to ride the storm and use this opportunity to make meaningful changes. Okay, so I feel like this, if this is resonating with you, I feel like this is an energy that you're in, but you're shifting out of it. And with that, by allowing yourself to shift out of that energy, you are pulling in a divine blessing that is going to help you up level your finances. And for some of you, this is something that will happen as a result of reaching out to your feminine. So just take that as it resonates. It's that energetic shift that will happen within you once you break the silence. We're getting just blunt and to the point in this one. All right. Alright. Okay. Are we really doing tough love today? All right. As I was shuffling, I was looking at this Ace of Swords, and in this one, it's like I think looks like it looks like a sheep. But it's like this sword is right here on the side, just kind of standing there. And then she's over here. And then what I heard when I was looking at this card shuffling, I heard pick up the damn sword and communicate. So, take that if it resonates. Sometimes we come through with tough love. Okay, we've got the Hermit, and I'm actually getting a very different message from this card than what I normally get from the Hermit card. Normally, the Hermit is talking about going within kind of an isolating experience. But with this imagery, what I actually got was your counterpart is somebody you can be in hermit mode with together. Um, so it's like you can both kind of pull back from society for a little bit and be in that hermit mode together. So you don't have to be alone anymore. You don't have to do all of this alone. Ugh, which just yeah, that's that's a gift. Um, to have somebody that you can go into hermit mode with, it just oof, that's pretty great. Um, and then we've got the 6 of Cups, and this is very much a nostalgic energy. It's also childlike, not childish, childlike. So this can be talking about, and I'm picking up the counterpart thread again. So this could be you really being able to let your inner child out to play with this other person, and it's safe to do so for both of you, which again is just, I mean, that is such a blessing to have in a relationship. The other thing that I'm getting is off the imagery of this card is you could have a very active dream state right now where maybe you're dreaming of your person, you're dreaming about past, you're dreaming about future opportunities, things like that. And then I'm also getting a daydreaming energy from it as well. So you could be kind of lost in daydreams about potentials with your feminine or past experiences that you had with them. Um, yeah. Yeah, you go. Mhm. And then I just heard like feeling like teenagers again. So this is definitely one of those connections where you bring out that youthful side of each other. It's that giddy young love, but in a more mature way. And then we've got the Nine of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups. This is wish fulfillment and self-made, like a self-made person. So like an entrepreneur that has a successful business. It doesn't have to be, that's just what I think of because that's what I resonate with. But it can also be being, very financially abundant. Maybe you climbed the corporate ladder, something like that. It's a very stable financial insecure energy, and it's a self-made secure energy. And then it's also Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. It's very much emotionally fulfilling. And so that's what you have available to you. And I do feel like a lot of you, this is going to be in connection with your counterpart. But for some of you, this could be something that you've already experienced, like that Nine of Pentacles energy. You could already be in that self-made energy, and then your counterpart brings in the full fulfilled energy. Um, and just that real balanced energy. Um, For some of you, because I put the Nine of Pentacles on the Six of Cups, or right next to it. And what I'm getting from that is that for some of you, it could be your counterpart that is already in this self-made energy. And if that's what's stopping you from moving forward is because you feel like you need to match that energy, the message coming through is don't allow that to stop you from moving forward, because if your person is already self made in a way when it comes to business or finances or whatever, it's something that they've learned some things along the way. And so if that's something you're desiring as well, your person can give you some advice and stuff from their personal experience and kind of help give you some shortcuts on how to get there yourself. And if some of you are worried that your feminine is going to think that you are showing up because of that, the message coming through is not to worry about that, because your feminine knows. Your feminine knows your true intentions. So if you're worried that your feminine's going to think that you're only reaching out at this time because they're self made in some way, don't be too worried about it, because your feminine's very, very intuitive and can tell when somebody is coming towards them with ill intentions. And your feminine already knows your intentions. That's just a part of this dynamic. And I'm also hearing your feminine really would love to help you in certain areas of life. And your feminine also would really, really appreciate your help in certain areas of life. Again, it's very balanced. And even if it's one of those like, what do I personally have to offer my feminine? My feminine's already blank, 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 blank. There is a lot that you have to offer your feminine, especially energetically. There is a sense of relief, and it's just like this, putting your feminine into their softness even more and allowing your feminine to release some of the pressure and the burdens that come with being self-made. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of damn pressure sometimes. So just know that if that's part of what is worrying you, just know that your feminine isn't viewing it that way. Okay. What else do we have? We had like 15 cards fly out. Okay. The Four of Swords is talking about rest and rejuvenation. So you could be in this energy or being called to be more in this energy of rest, self-care, rejuvenation, um, amping up the self-care, knowing that you can't pour from an empty cup. It's actually self-love to take care of yourself first, even though in our society we're often taught the opposite. But if you're giving all the time and you're not giving back to yourself, it's just going to drain you. And so it's about filling your own cup up first. It's that concept of like being on an airplane and you put your oxygen mask on first before assisting somebody else so that you can assist them and not pass out. It's that type of an energy. Um the 7 of Wands. Hmm. Okay, I'm being told to read. I'm being told to read these. We've got the 3, the 5, and the 7 of Wands. Interesting. Okay. So wands have to do with its fiery energy. It's very passion driven energy. Okay. So the 5 of Wands is talking about obstacles, distraction, and conflict. And so that could be part of what's stopping you from moving forward towards your feminine, but also in other areas of your life right now is just a lot of external influences. I'm getting like a lot of pulling on your energy, like being pulled in 100 different directions. And then you're just like, oh, I just need a break. And then turn on a gaming system or, the TV or scroll on your phone. And, that's kind of I'm just going to take a break from what's going on. So I'm going to distract myself with screen time, maybe vices, drinking, whatever. And so I feel like that's part of where this Four of Swords is coming in is to say, allow yourself to pull off of some of the distractions, pull off of the screens a little bit, allow yourself to just kind of be in silence. You can turn on some like binaural beats or meditative type music, and then just allow yourself to just kind of be for a little bit. Pull into the present moment, release all the distractions, release all of the external burdened type of energy, and just give yourself even 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes to yourself to recenter your energy, to pull it back into center, to pull into the now moment, and just breathe and be. We're human beings, not human doings. All right. The 3 of Wands. This is communication, energy, and opportunity. So this is definitely what you have in your energy right now. It's the manifestation of energy and new ideas. You can facilitate creative growth by remaining open to those things that will help you diversify. Utilize your experience as you introduce fresh dynamic approaches to your repertoire. There is no need to dismiss past achievements. Rather, develop new ways to use your skills as you expand yourself further. Okay, what I'm actually getting is for some of you, you're at this point, and this is more of a career message, but you could be at this point where you're like, I spent X amount of time, X amount of years doing this thing, but now I'm being called to do something completely different. And it's that idea of starting over and starting something fresh and new, but you're back at a beginner. And it's one of those, it's hard for the ego to let go of it if you've, let's say you uh, you know, interesting. Okay. I just got a really weird analogy. So it's like if you Okay, I'm just gonna say it. So it's like if you're a CDL driver, right? And to be a CDL driver, you have to, obviously go get your CDL. And then oftentimes, you've got to spend a year on the road. And then you finally get a gig where you're, in town and you're home every night, and you're not over the road. And then you've done it for long enough and you have experience. You can go wherever you want. And now all of a sudden you're being guided to start a YouTube channel. So, with that analogy, there's a part of the ego that's like, well, I've already been doing this for years. I can, go anywhere and get, one of these really highly sought after CDL driver gigs. So, why would I give that up to start something that, is completely unknown or completely fresh and it's in a completely different field? And so there could be this struggle that you're dealing with when it comes to something like that. And I am definitely picking up a career. So again, take that if it resonates. It was a random like analogy that came through. I've got family members who are CDL drivers. But anyways, so um but yeah, I mean it's this energy of I don't feel like the advice right now is to just completely quit. Like if that is your story where you're already, kind of locked into a certain career, the recommendation coming through isn't to just like quit and then start something completely new right away. It's this energy of you are going to be given insight and guidance from the divine, from your higher self, whatever you work with, however you view it. And then you're also going to be gifted with like a blessing of some sort that's going to allow you to start this other thing. And then what I heard is for some of you, maybe there's the part of you that's like, I don't have the time and the energy to start this other thing, and then I also heard, and I wanna go towards my counterpart, and I just don't have the energy or the time to do all of these things that are coming in right now. Which again, I do resonate with. That being said, when you're talking about shifting gears, pun intended, when you're talking about shifting gears into a different direction, and you're being guided to it by your soul, you're going to be given extra help and resources and energy on the way. When you shift more into alignment, you will actually find that you have more energy on a regular basis. And so just allow yourself, again, start small. Maybe it's reaching out to your counterpart and just having a platonic situation to start with, but energetically that can help shift you into the next level to where okay, now you've got some more energy, some of these blocks and things like this are being cleared. I'm seeing this 3 of Swords energy, this heartbreak energy just kind of fizzling. um and then you're going to be guided on okay, now spend an hour a week on your side hustle that you want to shift into your full time at some point. So it's one of these like it's that slow steady movement that you're really being guided to shift into. And with that, self-care is absolutely going to be a priority. Um 7 of Wands. Okay. Being told to read this one because I'm getting all sorts of different stuff from the imagery. Okay, potential confrontation. Oh, hmm. So, is this the hateful energy around them? No. Okay, very interesting message. What I'm actually getting is there's a part of you that is fearful of confrontation, potential confrontation with your counterpart. So, it's an interesting message coming through. It's one of these things like I'm not getting that there's not going to be confrontation, but I'm not getting that it's going to be like, it's not gonna be like a fight or an argument or something like that. I mean, there is a level of, like, uncomfortability in some of these conversations, it's almost like like the clearing the air that's kind of uncomfortable. But it's one of these things, like, if you're worried that your feminine's just gonna come at you, I don't really feel that in this energy. I feel like your feminine is going to be very understanding, very, receptive, but, I mean, your feminine's also, like, there's a strong boundaried energy as well, so it's like your feminine doesn't put up with shit, but they're not a bitch about it, basically. Um It's like a soft, gentle energy, but also don't fuck around because that sword will come out. It's kind of that energy, and that is kind of intimidating, I guess. But it's also it's just understanding if you show up in your authentic energy and you're not trying to play games and you're not, trying to pull one over and you're just like, I'm here. This is where I'm at on the journey. This is what it is. This is where I'm at in life. This is where I want to be in life. This is what I have to offer. What say you? Your feminine will be very receptive to that type of an approach. That's what I'm picking up. And again, you know you're feminine. You know, and there's this part where it's like you know you're feminine, but I don't feel like you really know like their human self fully. Um, so it's like you know their soul, which makes sense, but there's a part of you that's worried because you don't exactly know how their human self is going to show up in certain situations. And but I don't feel like it's going to be like okay, I feel like for a lot of you, you've dealt with a lot of karmic wounded feminine energy. And so you're not really sure what to expect from a more healed feminine energy, more of that divine feminine type of an energy. And the thing is with the divine feminine, it's very it's very understanding, it's very intuitive, it's very open, it's very receptive, but there's also boundaries, due to past experiences and healing wounds and dealing with a lot of bullshit. So it's one of those things like what I'm kind of feeling in this energy is it's one of those if you try to go to your feminine in a certain way that is not in alignment, you're gonna get hit with a little bit of that energetic boundary. But it's not gonna be like, I'm hearing like a feminine just like just like going off about it. It's not that. It's just gonna be like, try again. Like, yeah, we don't do that here. You can drop that act, you can drop the mask, and you can show up authentically, and we'll have us a party. But don't come at me with bullshit. And, if you haven't dealt with that, which I'm feeling for most of you, you haven't dealt with an energy like that, that can be intimidating. But just know that you don't need to be scared of it. And the main thing is just to be authentically you and allow yourself to show up in the most authentic version of you that you are in this moment. And the more you commit to the path, especially after, being in communication with your feminine, you're going to be able to just go even deeper into really getting into alignment with yourself. And then again, it's reciprocal. So there's going to be that energy where your feminine does that as well. Okay. Just spitting all over my cards. That's fun. Oh, we're still going with the tarot. What else do we have here? Spit up. Okay, necklace to choose. All right. Anyhow, God, there's cat fur all over me. Anyways, yeah, we've got the lovers and the ace of wands. So you very much I've heard some readers talk about the ace of wands as a passion stick because on a lot of the cards it is a little phallic looking. Um So I am definitely picking up like a sensual energy. You want to bring that sensual energy to your counterpart And for some of you, maybe that's part of what's kind of throwing you because I feel like for a lot of you, you've been used to being chased by feminines, which is feminine in their wounded energy. So you're not used to being put in the position where you are being asked to initiate and show up in your masculine energy, in your more healed divine masculine energy. And so part of that is having a wicked desire sexually for your counterpart. And so maybe that's part of what's throwing you too is like, I just want this person in all of the ways. And there might be a part of you thinking it's just lust, but it's not. Um, but yeah, I'm picking up that you would like to bring your passion stick to your lover. Um, yeah, that's definitely there's a sensual energy here. I was feeling it earlier. But I mean, this is your counterpart. Like the Lover's card is very much divine counterpart coming together energy. So you do have that available to you. Um, and this is also, so wands are about inspiration, creativity, all of that. And so this is also pulling up that mutual muse energy. So it's this energy of like you inspire your feminine and then they inspire you. Um, which is awesome. And it's kind of this energy of like, think of how inspired you are not in communication. And that is just, now think about it being in communication with your counterpart. I mean, holy moly guacamole. That's that's some that's some boss bomb energy. Okay. Yeah, it's just one of these like it's infinite leveling up once you come into contact with your feminine. And the Queen of Cups. Is this their energy or the counterpart energy? Okay. So I'm picking up that this is actually your counterpart energy. Your counterpart's energy. So they're very much this is the energy that they will be in when you communicate with them. That's what it is. So they will be in this very receptive, emotionally safe energy. Oh, we're reading it. All right, oh yeah, it's weird in here. Hold on. It's not listed out normally. Okay, there we go. Loving and intuitive. Yep. All right. Um, it's also talking about connecting with your innermost feelings. Um, yeah, it's talking about sharpening intuitive senses and psychic impulses. And then strengthening love and compassion for others. So I feel like this is the energy that your feminine will be in when you do communicate with them. And then that's going to have the effect on you to help you go even deeper into your own inner work and stuff like that. And again, it's really about rising into the most authentic, bestest version of the self. And if you've got two people who are mutually doing that on a regular basis, that is literally a power couple. That is an unstoppable force in a very beautiful way. This isn't like an ego kind of thing. This is very much, yeah, just that reciprocated boss energy, but in a loving way too, in a heart-centered way, in a soul-led way. That's beautiful. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. Okay. I had to pause it for a minute because I was getting hit with like all the sensual energy. So I was like, whew. I'm gonna go ahead and recenter my energy for a minute. And then what I saw is there's this like really elaborately designed shoe on this card. And I think, yeah, the story on here is the shoemaker and the elves. Um so what I actually heard is that for some of you, you're fantasizing about your feminine in different types of shoes. So take that as it resonates. Hence the reason I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a minute and yep, allow that energy to move. Okay. What? We've got the yin yang card. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it. That's divine counterpart and door to spirit. So that's another huge thing that I feel like you are being invited into. I feel like you've already been playing around with spirituality, tapping into your intuition, things like that. Um, and this is an invitation for you to go even deeper. And this is something that I do feel like if you were to go into contact with your feminine, they could definitely help you to take it that next layer deeper. All right. The sensual energy in this reading is off the charts. So, anyways, all right. What else? The temple path. Yeah. That's the path back to self. That's the soul led path. That's very much the soul aligned path. You came here on mission. You came into this human experience on a soul mission. If you're watching this and you're resonating with this, you have a soul mission. That's that fire within you that will not go out. It's that calling of I'm here for more. I know I came here to do more, to do something big, and it's not going to go away until you step more into alignment and allow yourself to live that life. And that's, you picked a counterpart path at a soul level for a reason. It's the fast track path back to the self. Um, okay, and what's in the way of you really allowing yourself to align with this path is attachments. So this could be energetic attachments. So definitely clear and cleanse your energy. Be mindful of where your energy is going, who you're giving your energy to, and is it reciprocated? Is it mutual? Is it not? Is it time to pull back some of that energy and pour it into yourself? So on and so forth. This can also be attachments to old mindsets, limiting beliefs, things like that. This could also be an attachment to certain things in your life that you know that you would most likely have to release in order to really anchor in this counterpart union, basically. Um, so it's one of these things, if you know by you coming into contact with your feminine you would at some point be required to move or switch your career or something like that. That could be some of the fear that is stopping you right now. um because the temple path energy is really that energy of surrender and allowing your soul or your higher self or God, the universe, whatever you personally work with, to lead the way. And when you're walking this path, this is the path where the entire path will not be shown to you. Sometimes you'll get glimpses of that future. So you'll get glimpses of like being in union with your feminine, maybe living in, I'm seeing like living in a mansion and having vacations and being completely financially secure and free and living your purpose and, maybe having more kids or, something like that. And then it's one of these like, how do I get there? Well, this is that path where you'll get glimpses of it so that it's something for you to hold on to know that you're going in the right direction. And then the path to get you there will be illuminated one or two or three steps at a time. And that can be scary because it's like, well, from here to there, it's just completely unknown. But that's part of it is maybe it feels like it's 5 years out, but when you start really walking this path and following your intuition, all of a sudden you're embodying that vision that you saw in a year. Because you were guided to take this turn and this turn and do this and do this, and then all of a sudden you're in that that vision that you saw, or sometimes it comes through in dreams or things like that. Sometimes when you're daydreaming and fantasizing, spirit or your higher self will actually put like little breadcrumbs of visions in there. So like when you allow yourself to just daydream and wander in your mind about potential futures, some of it is actually your higher self saying, yes, this is what your future self is already living if you align with this path. Okay. And then we've got blossoming abundance. Did it come out in reverse? It did. Okay, what I'm hearing is there are also attachments that are blocking your abundance right now as well. So this can be, again, lack mentality, limiting beliefs, you know, all of that stuff. I'm feeling a lot of this is like mental attachments of some sort, just old programs running the show. You know, I'm too old for that. I made choices that aren't going to allow me to do that, so on and so forth. Part of walking this path is to actually break some of these societal notions that we've been told of, if you don't have this by this age, then it's not available to you. There's people that are making it big in their 60s and 70s. I mean, so it's an illusion. It's a self-limiting belief. So if that's part of it, just know that that's not really accurate, especially when you're walking the temple path. Okay. What now wants to come through? Oh, interesting. Okay, this is gonna be a long ass reading. Ha! And what's available to you in connection with your counterpart is a more supportive, uplifting community that actually desires to see you living your best life, that doesn't have that subconscious low key envy, that isn't coming from a triggered, wounded space. These are people who can actually hold you and support you in your most authentic version. And then also cornucopia, which is literally like massive abundance, life of your dreams, like that vision I was seeing of just free. Um, just free. Like you can be free with your person. Okay. And then I actually just got told to pull some from this one. So I'm just gonna shove those up there for now. All right. What wants to come through for divine masculine? So now we're definitely getting more into the romance area of life. Because we're pulling from the romance angels. All right. What does Flexwood need to know about this romance? Really? There it is. Give your relationship a chance. Take a chance on this person. Because it is your person. You're already energetically locked on. Give it a chance. Like give it a shot. I was gonna say you might be pleasantly surprised, and then I got corrected and said you will be pleasantly surprised. Yep. And then we've got separation. And so I feel like that's just confirmation that you are in the separation energy, but it came out sideways. So this has the potential to end if you choose to end it, to end this level of physical separation. In calling in your soulmate, your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations are helping to bring you together. And I feel like you've already been doing this. I've been picking up a lot of daydreaming energy, a lot of fantasizing. Um, and so energetically, it is working. And I feel like it's at the point now to where you're being guided to actually take physical action. What sized action card didn't come out? Another one. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. That I definitely feel like is part of what is holding you back right now. For some of you, I'm picking up like a racial difference. So a difference in like ethnicity, something like that. Maybe that's part of it. This could be financial differences. This could be spiritual or religious differences, something like that. And it's basically what I'm seeing is it's one of these things like if you normally go for a certain type, and this can be in physical appearance or this can be like energetically. So if you've been used to attracting a bunch of people with those toxic dynamics in their wounded energy, going towards somebody who's in a more healed energy is going to be a very different experience. But it's very I mean, if you're committed to the path, that self-growth path and the soul-aligned path, I mean, you're good. Like, I feel like that's the main thing that your feminine would require at this point. Okay, what else do we have? We have attraction. So yeah, there's definitely, and I heard mutual. So there's definitely a mutual attraction. And then we've got engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. So for some of you, you could be kind of daydreaming about like proposing or really committing to this person. Um, the other thing that I'm getting from this is I feel like where it's talking about your love life is ascending to the next level, that could be pulling out of this physical separation energy and coming back together um in a relationship. And for some of you, I am picking up that it will be platonic at first and then it'll shift into a romantic connection later. And then for some of you, it's going to be like you reach out, you talk a little bit, and then you dive into a romantic connection. So it's just going to vary. And then we got it is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow, with that, I feel like that's a good place to end this message. So, just kidding. We've got one more. It's getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. And I feel like this is really what you're being guided to do right now, is allow yourself to open up to receiving love and giving love in a mutual way. And then also just that energy of really communicating and getting to know each other at the human level and allowing yourself to really have that experience with your person. With that, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here before we just go on and it's 2 hours long. So I'm going to go ahead and let this one be. I hope this resonates. If so, you can let me know in the comments below. I would love to talk to you about it. This is great, great energy. You have a lot available to you. Um, and it is mutual. So if you didn't know that, it is a mutual desire that both you and your person are feeling for each other. Alrighty. Well, if you like this message, feel free to hit that like button. It does help out the channel, so thank you. And if you would like to see more from me, you can hit subscribe. It is free, and I will see you on the next message. Bye.